Hey there, commercial construction coffee talk fans. Thanks for chiming in. My name's David Corson. I'm your host. I'm also the publisher and editor of Commercial Construction Renovation Magazine. This is what it used to look like. We're digital now. Breaking out some archives here, January of 2021. Jason Switty, supervisor of facilities and construction for AAA out of Southern Cal. They got about 10,000 locations. AAA, it's unbelievable. Anyway, the Southern Cal, the museum where their headquarters is, oh my God, if you get a chance to ever go down there, you will see pictures all over the place from like old school, uh, automobiles when you used to go in and sit down and get your maps, and they would do all that stuff. For those of you who don't know who AAA is, it's the American Automobile Association. Anyway, they help you get towing and stuff. But when I grew up, you used to go in there for trips, so they would give you your maps and all that. And things have changed, but they still got a lot of locations. But Jason, thanks for gracing the cover, and uh, went. Went digital August of 2021. So this was a couple issues before it. That was the last issue I printed, but I always like holding the magazine in my hands. Let's see what I was doing. This was January, right? I was coaching my high school team locally, and I went to University of Denver and a couple of played lacrosse and hockey there. And anyway, the Pioneers we're playing a couple of alums are on the Georgia Swarm. They're the indoor lacrosse team. So I took my team there. They got to play on the indoor turf. We took them down in the locker room and met some people, and it was a great day. But always like holding the magazine, seeing what I was doing. But I don't miss the printer, don't miss the post office, and I want to, it's Thanksgiving coming up next week. Next week, I want to be thankful to all of you out there that find us on the web. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I'd be a data content guy, at the end of 2025. But for all of you that have helped us, with our stats and so forth, we're on aim about to hit about 70 million people at the end of the year that will hit the website for content. And I couldn't have done it without you. And I am grateful that you find us on the web. And I truly mean that from my heart. So, but it's been an amazing ride, going print face to face to digital. And, you can teach an old dog new tricks. It's unbelievable. But today I have an old time client. I used to call on him in my early publishing days, and uh, he's a jack of all trades. His name is James Geier, and he's the CEO, founder, principal of 555 Design. He's up in Chicago. James, say hello to our listeners out there on Commercial Construction Coffee Talk.
How's everybody doing? Happy to be here. Thank you, Dave, for inviting me.
Yeah,
It's been
and
a long
listen, if you
time.
get it,
It's
I
been a
was gonna
real
say,
long time.
yeah, it's been a long, and I'll tell you, I was up at James' office. I'd never been there. This is years ago. It's got one of the coolest offices. You and Marty from Marco Contractors have the coolest offices. You got rock and roll, you got picture, you got everything going on in there, man. I'm telling you, man, you could spend your whole
Everywhere.
day in there. Why go to
Yeah.
a museum when you go to, 555 Design, or if
Yeah.
it's amazing. But
There you go.
the reason why I had James on, because uh, I hadn't talked to him in a while, and we were touching base. I said, "Hey, you should be on the podcast. You've been around. Look, he's only 26, but he's been around forever, and he's got a
26
great story.
twice.
Yeah, twice. And so here he is.
There
So
you go.
yeah, but James, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it in three parts because I know you have a hard stop. You're gonna tell your story, where you grew up, school, how you ended up where you work today, and we'll talk about the last 5 years of the roller coaster that we've been on. What trends you might see, any cool projects that you have working, you're working on there coming up, and then you'll leave your contact info, and then we'll close it out. So with that said, the floor is yours. Tell us your story.
Thank you. And it has been a long time. Um, Coming from Chicago on the South Side, 555 Design. In our 37th year in business now. Um, Design and create, build, manufacture, all the cool shit that goes into our commercial environments. Okay, I said shit. Like come out
Shit,
again.
yeah.
But truly envisioning and creating amazing spaces people want to be in, and helping our clients lead with great intention, great customer and guest experience, inviting, engaging, and helping to sell, right? Truly helping. And That's what I've been doing commercially, not just as 555, but prior to that for a number of years, just out of college. Um, college, graduated from University of Illinois at Champaign, fine arts, had gone to Western Michigan University in Kalamazoo, go Broncos, uh, uh, for a couple of years. And, through um, my career or my college career journey, so to speak, realized that, this dyslexic kid from New Jersey, which would have been me,
Yeah.
who was kind of flunking out of high school because, why can't Jimmy read? Was a big deal when I was growing up in the 60s before they knew what dyslexia was. But truly through art and creativity and my skills as a maker and a builder and a carpenter and as an artist and fashioning things with your hand have really turned me into what I am today. Somebody who understands how it all goes together and could deliver it in that world of commercial design, retail, uh, hospitality, restaurants, bars, nightclubs, hotel work. Um, I've been an owner operator in these industries as well for the last 37 years, opening my first bar and club on the north side of Chicago in '88, and have been in the business, not just designing and building and counseling others, owner operators and end users, but as an operator and a concept builder as well. So that's always been, not a sidelight necessarily, but, a part of my core business, and also developing commercial property. So identifying buildings in hopefully up and coming areas, uh, buildings that can, support ultimately what's going to start to happen in an area as it grows, as it gentrifies, and renovate and, strategic development of the commercial aspects of that property. So I've been doing that for my entire professional career as well. Um, Jump forward to where I'm at today. And a number of years ago, I was contacted by Tulane University in New Orleans, the business school. The dean at the time was looking to expand some programs and, kind of as most schools do, kind of keep a pulse, hopefully figure out what students need as, technology and commerce changes, things like that, what become important things to want to have available for the students. And I was contacted by them. Don't remember exactly who recommended me, but the idea
Someone
that,
did.
yeah, somebody did. Thank you. Um, and the idea was, Tulane University in what the hotbed of Southern hospitality, maybe the birthplace of it, and amazing culinary, amazing music scene, and culturally so rich. Tulane had nothing in the world of hospitality as far as programs throughout the university. So the business school kind of decided, hey, we should start to build some sort of programming, coursework, things like that. And um, again, I was contacted and ultimately hired to help counsel and lead and develop what kind of coursework that would be in the world of what, and hospitality. It wasn't going to be a culinary school. It wasn't going to be a hotel management school. The idea there was the business of hospitality. And in the case of what I'm doing in the course I created called Entrepreneurial Hospitality, the entirety of the entrepreneurial process to identify business, goods, services in and around the world of hospitality, travel and leisure, you name it, um, and turn it into basically a complete beginning to end, create the students going through every layer of evaluation from, competitive analysis and financial modeling and brand development and you name it. They basically create a business and they pitch it kind of Shark Tank style at the end to a supposed investor committee. And so entrepreneurial hospitality is a class that I created that I'm teaching there now and has helped to develop what is now a new hospitality certificate program for the undergrad. So certificate programs, a lot of universities are creating to kind of give more a focused area of study, a little more real life experience so students can come out of school with some area that they really have a lot more focused, kind of detailed experience. So That's what I've been doing.
Do they call you Professor Geier? Is that what
They
it is?
do. They do.
Oh, that's
They do.
sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, hey, listen, a lot of my friends went to, they had HRM and DU, Hotel Restaurant Management, and
Yeah.
all my friends used to have to get the crack of dawn because that's when they had their classes and all that. And
Yeah.
uh, Western Michigan, I had a couple of my buds that transferred from the Broncos to DU, and they were in HRM. They had HRM in Western Michigan, right? Didn't
Yep.
they? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. So yeah, Cornell, the
Yeah.
big Western
So
Michigan.
this is a little different. This is truly, and most of this comes from my personal experience as an owner operator, designer builder, counsel to others of the entire process and the evaluation and what it all takes to get through it. And it's not just the process and go through each step and each chapter and out pops a business. It's also about what it takes to be an entrepreneur, a leader, right? It's lonely at the top, a lot of effort and energy and passion put in without, well, you don't get a paycheck until something happens. So it's reality of what it really takes. So I don't have a textbook. I'm not assigning, thousands of words of reading or writing. All of my class materials are things that I've pulled from YouTube videos, interviews, portions of podcasts, articles, good reads, but it's all very much focused to the subject of what we're doing in the class that week or that day. And it's really building blocks, in order to properly start a business, you have to do this, and then you have to do this. And because I did this, now I can do that. So the process that we go through, um, and out pops some really amazing business ideas and great prideful feeling of success and accomplishment in the students. In 15 weeks they go from, I have a tough time getting them to keep their name on the top of their homework before they hand it in, let alone the date.
Oh yeah.
But in the end we whip them into shape, and they really put together some amazing work and ideas and brands, and feel very, very confident in their ability to take these tools, these pieces, these templates I put out there and go on, not necessarily as an entrepreneur, though many are already, and planning that, maybe taking over, getting involved in their parents' businesses and taking it to the next level. But it's really giving the tools and the process and the ideas. And, in the end, when people find out that I'm teaching, first thing they say is, because of my career, oh, yeah, are you teaching design, or are you teaching,
You're
you
teaching
know,
real, Bill.
well, and yeah, I'm teaching the design of businesses and ideas and opportunities and what it takes to be a leader, and the entrepreneurial spirit and all that. So that's quite rewarding, and
How many
really
people are in your
fortunately,
class?
just as of yesterday, 40. So they tapped it out at 40 for this semester. Fortunately, I'm only having to teach spring semesters, so January through May. My wife and our puppy and I live in New Orleans, and I travel back and forth to Chicago or where I need to go for business real quick in and around school. So looking forward to getting down to New Orleans, just when the weather starts to get
You
better.
do field trips, you take them out there and say, hey man, look what they're doing. They're taking this real use building and put a bar and whatever. I mean, do you do that stuff too, or
Not so much. I send them off to do things. There's just so little time when you're dealing with undergrads to then plan for everybody to be able to, the minute something like that goes on during the school year, they have other classes they have to deal with, and there's too much juggling. But I do send them to places to check out. It's not mandatory. Um, there are thoughts about going to some potential, let's say, um, conventions and things like that, industry-wide conventions. Some of the faculty does orchestrate things like that. The hospitality department put together a focused class. Students got 3 credits to go to Spain for 3 weeks in the summer. So there was a very focused, that the hospitality program put together. So, we're coming up with ideas that are not just, things that could be disruptive for a short term, but something a little more impactful.
I'm kind of, it's amazing that, since New Orleans is such a, it's such a niche spot from, music, like you said, music, food, architecture, voodoo, whatever. I mean, it's got
Yeah.
everything down there. The river. You figured they would have had something like that, hospitality, and in their curriculum. That's
Yeah, you would think, but
people.
no, they didn't. And the business school identified that and whatever
Well, good for
big
them. They saw the
consulting
light.
firm. Yeah, along with a few other programs, they develop a program in sports management. It's a very rich sports culture down there. LSU is very close by as well.
You
And
know,
then
I,
energy. They're big into energy as well. They're creating more focus on energy, and especially because of all the energy companies and the concerns in the Gulf of Mexico and all that kind of stuff. So, in this case, school and administration, that those that run the school came up with and identified some things that, are probably a little more en vogue these days.
I had this guy. His name is Aaron Golub. He was the first blind kicker in college that tried out for the NFL, and he kicked for Tulane.
Oh
Did
my
you know
God.
him?
I did not.
He's probably before your time. He was there
Yeah.
like in 90.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like in the mid 90s.
So
And
I'm not a Tulane alum. I'm only
oh, I
been on
know.
the
Well,
campus
anyway,
for
this guy,
7 years now.
he was legally blind
Yeah.
and he liked football, so he became the hiker
That's
for the
great.
Point Extra, or
Yeah.
and anyway, when I met him, I hadn't been around a blind person in a long time. So we're in New York. I picked him up. I flew him into, he was out of California, flew him into JFK, got him catered in, with a car. And then I'm walking through here. He's a big dude, kicker. And I'm walking around with him and I'm treating him like a kid. He's like, Dave, you don't have to hold me. Trust me, man. I've fallen. I'm not, and I'm like trying to, hey, there's a crack there. Hey,
Yeah.
and he's like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
But, it was a great story though. And I said, you missed it. Because this story, if you would have done it during social media days, you would have made millions.
Yeah.
Everybody
No,
would have had you. You
lots
just
of
missed it
views.
by about like 15 years.
Yeah. There
Oh,
you go.
but it was a great story, man. And he put this video together, and they had all the Tulane, the athletic field, and they were showing him kicking and stuff, and it was really really cool. So, uh,
Nice. Roll
James,
wave. Roll wave.
yeah, Roy, James is like he's a carpenter. His work, when I look back at all the factories and fixture, plants that I took tours of over the years and everything I've seen, uh, James does really, really cool work. I mean, he talks the talk, he backs it up, not only with his product, but what's in it. I just know James,
Yeah.
and his booth was always immaculate. His fixtures were immaculate. His designs were all cutting edge. You were definitely like you were, I don't know, you were just above, you were a step ahead, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
Yeah.
I've
Thank
seen a
you.
lot,
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you have the right equipment, you can do anything. However,
Well, not just the equipment, but know how to use it and know how to
exactly.
manipulate
Yeah,
it.
CNC router, whatever,
Yeah.
program it, but it's the little things after it comes off. Maybe you used a little different stain, or maybe those are the things that you did that separated you, in my opinion, from your competitors. And
Sure.
I don't say that often either, and
Thank you.
because
Well, and thank you. And that's probably the secret sauce of my career is being a little more advanced and leading, not following. Obviously, being real smart about manufacturing, knowing what it takes to produce, and then pushing that envelope, but knowing the cost that could go with it, and then designing within the confines of, well, it's not just stock off the shelf, right? Um, the development of getting into manufacturing costs a lot, and having facilities costs a lot, and
oh yeah.
but what comes out of that is then smart design and things that just people aren't picking off the shelf. The
Mhm.
the 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 richness of a lot of the environments that we design has to do with a lot of the custom elements that you just don't see. And somebody walks into an environment, whether it's a retail store, a restaurant, a lobby to a hotel or apartment building, goes, wow, right? And the idea of how do you figure out how to make that stuff on time, within a budget, but the far-reaching ideas, that's what I've always been. And that's the combination of my art and sculpture side, and then my engineering and industrial engineering and industrial design, how to manufacture and manipulate, tools and machining and large construction equipment and manufacturing machining equipment. They're made to do X, press brake, do, 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 do. It's the tools that you use that are within that press brake that then start to mold and manipulate the materials. And it's just, kind of general for most things. So I've always felt to lead with good design, right? And those memorable moments. And a lot of this also comes from my growing up in the hospitality industry. And, why am I so geared towards teaching the subject is I live the life and, that guest experience, whether it's in a retail store, in a hotel, and just on the street, the engagement that somebody might have with you and your product or your service. It's so important to make it memorable and a good experience. And even in the case of bad experiences, like I broke down on the side of the highway, you were talking about AAA, and the guy on the cover, AAA is an amazing group, right? And they are there to help. And the customer service you get on their phone in a bad time when you're stuck on a highway, they do a great job. So, kind of any business, any industry can say things, but it's your actions and being intentional about that. And for me, for us, designing these environments and building these spaces and putting the things in there are all about that as well. That guest experience, the the things that are slightly placed that only certain people might notice, right? But then when they notice it, you're like, oh man, look at that. That is so cool. So
Yeah.
the richness of these environments, and as you said, figuring out a new way to do a finish, right? That's what we've always done, and that's what I've always done, and leading with that good design.
So let's talk about March 2020, cranes everywhere. Things are just, everything's, booming. And
Yeah.
then I was going where what I have to count. I was going to see University of Denver play Ohio State in the horseshoe in lacrosse, and the country got shut down, and there went that game. My parents are going to meet me up there. Anyway, it's gonna be a couple weeks. It's gonna be a couple months.
Yeah.
Almost 5.5 years later, we're still talking about this thing. But
Yeah.
talk about how you weathered the storm, and you came out of it, and then maybe some trends that you see that are coming down the pike, and any cool projects that you might be doing.
Sure. Yeah. Wow. It was quite a change in a number of ways, break down my career and my businesses, what I do, 555. While we and our sister company, New Star Lighting, were considered essential manufacturing, and only certain companies were allowed to stay in business if you had government contracts, things like that, of which we do in our specialty lighting division. We were allowed to stay in business as manufacturing, with all that has to happen there. All design and office staff had to kind of start to work from home and do all that. But fortunately, we did have a few jobs, specifically SoFi Stadium retail for the Rams and the Chargers, which was going on prior to that, and they, had the ability to continue work in the stadium. So, we had some business to help keep that going, but extremely difficult because the entire hospitality and retail world died. And, our design work and our manufacturing is based on that. At the same time, I own a building in the Fulton Market District, our meatpacking district in Chicago, that's turned into, top culinary destination in the country, let alone the city. I developed a building, opened a special events catering company, an amazing rooftop, indoor, outdoor, retractable enclosure event space right in the heart of this area with picturesque views in the neighborhood and the city. Had some restaurant tenants on the first floor, blind barber, great group. Had them as a tenant, everything obviously shut down. There I was then with not only my events and catering business shut down, but the landlord of the building with no rent and, what was all going to happen. Um, and well, they were pretty dark days, if there's anything that I could say that, has come from these last number of years. And it also relates, I think, to how my business has been throughout is flexibility and being smart and intentional and figure something out, figure a pivot. And, looking back on it, we never had anything like, you know,
Yeah.
2020, but we've had amazing ups and downs, bricks and mortar versus internet. And, you
I
guys,
tell people all the time, I'm like, hey, I went to the oil a month
every
ago. I
one of
remember
them, boom, boom,
yeah,
every one of
recession
them
in
that
the 80s, 18% interest rates.
we've had to weather a lot of storms. So,
Hmm.
certainly one probably better uh, of my qualities is, be prepared. I believe in being prepared and being flexible and agile. And, maybe because of the design mind and the manufacturing mind and the project management mind, the ability to turn it into something and keep things going. And maybe it's a different keep things going. So I quickly pivoted and my business in the West Loop, Fulton Market District, um, sitting in a restaurant that my chef or my restaurant tenant had moved out of. I decided to open a restaurant. Within 5 months, I had concept, branded, hired culinary staff, got together and built a place called Marvin's Food and Fuel. It was the only new restaurant that had opened in the city of Chicago in 2020. We opened in August 2020. At that time, there was outdoor dining, right? Remember the whole indoor outdoor
Oh,
thing?
yeah.
And
Hmm.
so I had built some really badass, great um, pergolas and outdoor patios and put big garage doors in. So you could open the garage doors and it's indoor outdoor. So
Yeah,
kind of
sure.
purpose built for that time, and that was great because it was new for the community, for the people. Going out. Not many people could do that because most places were just indoor places. So what do
Hmm.
you do there? My rooftop events venue. I went across the street to my friends who own restaurant restaurant group, Alinea, out of Chicago. Just a tremendous top end space. They have a number of restaurants in the area I'm in. I pitched them on the idea of, well, your very high end tasting menu. Um, you guys can't serve indoors. How about you figure out a way to do it on my rooftop? A big tent I could put up for them, which was considered indoor outdoor. They came up with a concept. They rented my rooftop for 4 months for their very high end service. It was an opportunity for them to keep their staff going. It was an idea I had because what am I going to do? I can't book event venue, but a restaurant that wants to serve outside of my heated tent, maybe that would work. And they took it on. So
Yeah.
those kind of things really helped um, to move things along and not wait. I was in the process of finalizing my final commercial loan. I needed to prove to the bank that they should loan me the rest of my development money as long as I had businesses and opportunities. So that went well. And then for 555, it was just a combination of how and when retail and hospitality would come back. And it took
Come
quite
back.
some time,
Hmm.
probably 18, 20 months, right? Everybody sitting on their hands, not knowing. And then it's, another year of project development, digestion, planning, construction. So, these last, you know, 3 years have been difficult as well as people are, getting out of it. And then, the roaring issues with embargoes and not being able to get things and the material supply lines severely impacted a lot going on as well. And flexibility and the ability to keep positive mental attitude, PMA all the way, um, and deal with the challenges, big picture. It's been that way my whole career. So,
You know what I think a lot of
positive
people,
mental attitude to keep a smile on your face every morning, right?
you know what I think a lot of people that I talk to, on my show or just in general, they tell me that they found out more about themselves and that I'll do a quote from The Shining. All work and no play makes Johnny a dull boy. And
Mm,
that book scared the heck out of me when I read the movie was scary,
yeah.
but the book was much scarier in my opinion. Amityville Horror was pretty scary too, book to read back in the day when I was younger. Anyway, the uh, when you look back and you just it's mind blowing of what went on. But that first 2 years was scary, and then kind of planed off. And now, and just like renovations in residential, everybody was doing everything, and then it kind of planed off. And now, I think it's the most amazing time to be alive right now, because with technology, AI, and um, never a dull moment in the world. There's a lot of things. Listen, there's so many things I can't control, so I can't. I just have to plow along.
Right.
I gotta, let the
That's
chips fall
right.
where they may. But I think having a positive attitude, your mindset, that is so important.
Yeah.
But uh, some of the entrepreneurs that I spoke to, they said, look, you're always going to have a few weak links in your company. And that's the 5 years where, you know, you find the good people and then you find the people who are weighing you down and you got to get rid of the dead weight. You got to get, you can't have the anchor
Mm.
dragging you.
Yeah.
And it was, like myself, when I went digital, I was scared to death. I mean, I was a print face-to-face guy. I didn't know if they, but I was lucky. I had a digital magazine. I ignored it, but I had it.
Yeah.
If I didn't have it, I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
Mm.
And but I used Pivot a million times. I was like, look, we had it, and but it was scary. I remember, man, when we went digital, I was like, oh my God. And but now when I look back, I've learned so much, and yeah, but the people that you have, you got to treat them like family. You just have to,
Yeah. Yeah.
because you got to there's no I in team. There's only so
Well,
much time in the day to get things
e-
done.
you want everybody to buy into, what you're selling and smoking. So, in that
Hmm.
case, you have to be real, right? I've had an amazing career of mentoring, educating, teaching professionals, young professionals, mid-career professionals, uh, teaching my clients, teaching clients and the owner operators how stuff goes and, how the process goes. And um, it, it truly is, and salvation for me and not maybe a lot of people, but some is I get up every morning. I have to put a smile back on my face. I can't do anything about yesterday. It's
Yeah.
about today and tomorrow. And, a lot of people have a tough time letting go of stuff, which really, truly drags you down, right? I only have so much time in my mind space. And if there's a lot of poison and things that just grinding at you and, things that you can't let go of, I don't have enough time to put towards these things I can do something about. So my attitude has always been and the positivity that has to come with that and exude that to other people as well. And truly that is in the teaching of both all those that have worked with me and for me throughout the years in my professional career, and now those getting back to the students as well, right?
Did,
The
did,
the
did,
the leader has to put on that and not put it on, but truly believe in it. And then the staff and, those that you want to go with you truly have to believe that, you know,
oh
it's
yeah.
worth that.
So many people, like I said, they said they learn more about their company. They realize they have to have a work-life balance, and that they can work at home if they need to, and all those things. And but the companies that like in hospitality, that if you had a hotel and you didn't refresh when you were closed,
You're done.
you're done, because
Yeah.
everybody else was doing it, and they didn't have
Yeah.
to do one floor at a time. They could do the whole building because there's,
Yeah.
depending on what state you were in, obviously. But you know, it was a crazy time. I just look back and uh, you got as an entrepreneur, you just don't know what's going to happen, and you go down with the ship. You're the captain. You're the last one that gets paid, and you're the last one off the
Right.
ship.
That's
And
right. That's the truth. And, you have to be happy to live with it all because those are the decisions that you make when you choose to be in a business and own a business, Uh,
So what's the coolest project over your, over your career that you think you did?
yeah. Well, funny you should say that. And most people say, "What's your favorite project throughout my career?" And my one answer, my one and only always answer is the last one done.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's a big process to find the jobs, to get selected to do the jobs, to do the work, to deliver the work, to get the client open, to stand back and make sure that it's all working. It's a very long process and it's got its ups and downs. So for me, being somebody who visions these things early on, I know what they look like before, right? I know,
Yeah.
and the process to get to that end thing is just exhaustive sometimes. So my favorite project was the last one done, oh, that we got paid for. So,
Yeah.
you gotta throw that caveat in there. But
Hey,
I've had some really amazing opportunities and worked towards getting them, and it's because of being a leader in design and uniqueness and the business side, making sure that my clients understand that, and I tell people, I'm very proud that our renderings, right, look very much like the final product. And a lot of times that doesn't happen. A lot of times you're hiring different groups to do design work and different groups to then deliver it. And then in some case, it will pop something that doesn't really look like the original renderings because of this ugly word called VE, because budgets and, you know, just the ability to deliver somebody's ideas that are maybe not directed, knowing enough about manufacturing. That's what I said earlier in my career. Knowing how to manufacture goes a long way to help designing things that are manufacturable and still sweet and still over the top. And it's a challenge, for the clients and all that. So the last one done, a favorite project, but recently um, we do a lot of professional sports retail programs, merchandising programs for some of the best of the best. So, being a hockey fan like you are as well, and a player, and truly loving being a Chicago Blackhawks fan for so many years, I get to work with the Blackhawks organization quite a bit, working on helping them on their new Centennial Hall expansion of their training facility and presentation of their first Hall of Fame. And we do a lot of wonderful retail work for the current two-time Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. So it's really great to be able to work with those that are doing just so well all the time, and that I respect and appreciate. And I'm a big sports fan, so it's great to help them all realize great growth in their businesses because of merchandising and how, and there you are with your Thrasher shirt, how sports teams, even minor pro teams in many leagues, um, fashion has become fashion, right? What was just jerseys and fan gear, now there's real buy-in to the brands, and the teams are spending major money on proper design and fashion, casual lifestyle clothing, and it's one of the growth areas, few growth areas in retail, and I'm happy to kind of be in a position at the top level and working for a lot of the major players. So I find a lot of enjoyment in that.
well, when the Centennial comes up, when I come up to Chi-Town, I'm going to go check that place out for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
You know,
a lot of rich history.
if so, if there was someone out there in commercial construction coffee talk land and they were thinking about, venturing out and maybe they needed help with, a Reese project or, hospitality restaurateur, whatever it might be, how would someone reach out to you?
You can find me on LinkedIn, James Geier, Geier. Check out our website, 555design.com, three numbers. Um, there's quite a bit on the website, obviously, with such a long standing career, and it's really broken down to lots of great photos and examples of all the aspects of what we do. Um, and I'm not on Instagram. I'm on Instagram, but I don't use it. But I think LinkedIn or through uh, uh, Jay Geyer at
Well, what I'll do is I'll
555design.com.
put this in the description so they have that
Sure.
in there. It'll be linked,
Yeah.
and I'll put it in there. I'll edit and
Great.
put it in there as well. So yeah,
Yeah. And the website is 555design.com as well.
So if you're out there, okay, and you're thinking, and listen, James probably does projects all over the place. So I mean, if you got something going and you want to, bounce some questions off him, he's a professor,
There
Professor
you go.
Geier. Go wave, green wave, and the you know conversations could go in any different direction. But if you're thinking about something, and give him a call, rattle
Yeah,
his chain. He's got a lot up there to
there you
offer
go.
you, for sure.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. So as we finish up, if there was one positive thought or phrase that, as we finish up the year, we got New Year's coming up here in about 5 weeks. I got Thanksgiving next week. Uh, what would it be as we go into 2026 here very shortly?
Yeah. Um, well, again, in the world of staying positive and what the future looks like, 2026 can always be better than 2025,
Yeah,
right? And 2025 better than 24. And makes no sense to look back. We learn our lessons from the things that go on, but you know, um, make something happen, right? And take care of yourself and take care of your friends and your family and those around you as well. Um, Craziness going on in the world, lots of new unique opinions. Be careful of AI. It's going to be a great thing and a bad thing.
yeah,
So those are my words as I'm trying to figure out my new AI policy for my class in the spring. It
yeah.
changes a lot. AI is rapidly doing a lot of good and rapidly doing not so good as well. So
Hey,
be
listen,
careful of it.
I deal with content all day. I can tell if it's AI or not.
Yeah,
And all these people that were copywriters now they're just taking the easy way out, and I don't think it's
yeah,
good at all. Um,
no,
but it does. The genie's out of the bottle. They're not going to be able to put it in. That toothpaste is out. So
yep, yep,
uh, it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out. But I just look at it as it's an asset. It's an assistant, and um, but it gets smart. I'll tell you, James. 6 months ago, I watched this guy build three websites in about an hour, and he called me up. I'm in this masterminds group, and he goes, "Dave, you got to get on this call." And the other night, I was watching this guy. He built three websites in about 15 minutes.
mm,
That's how smart AI has gotten in 6 months.
yeah,
Bring in the code, all this stuff. And as a digital guy, SEO, I took classes. I went back to school in 2023. I actually took a sabbatical. I let the magazine on autopilot, and I just went. I thought I knew everything. I didn't know
yeah,
jack.
yeah.
Google
Well,
Ads,
you're
SEO.
you- you're a lot more advanced and intelligent than I am. I had hoped to die before this became a thing. I mean, all of this, the
Oh, you're going to be kicking a
technology.
long time, man.
I still the pen is mightier than the keyboard in my world.
Yeah, yeah. So listen, AI's been around a long time. It's been around. It's just
Yeah.
got,
Now it has a name.
yeah. Now it has a name, but it's been around
Yeah,
for a long time. People don't realize it's been around a
yeah,
long time. They just kept it a secret. So,
yeah,
uh, but yeah, like I said, it's an amazing time to be alive. Never a dull day, and I want my teams to win, but I know they're not going to win all the games, and
yeah,
it's just it's been. Been an amazing ride. I can't complain. I'm looking forward to 2026. I am, and I'm very very positive. There's two things that you said. Positivity so important. You got anybody negative in your sandbox? Kick them out
yeah,
because it's cancer. It
yeah,
spreads. You
yeah.
8 billion people on the planet. Keep them all positive around. You'll have a
There
much
you
better
go.
time. You'll laugh and all that. And then looking back, I every day I run 5 to 7 miles and I go out and I say, don't look back. Always be
Mm,
moving forward. If you want to look back at the scoreboard, that doesn't change because the whistle's already blown, the horns are going off.
mm,
You want to remind yourself of that game, fine. But you can't change the scoreboard. That's why you don't look
mm.
back. It's
Yeah,
only for like checking something or where I don't look back. Don't
yeah,
look back in
right.
your rear mirror. There's nothing behind there for you.
That's right.
So uh,
Beautiful.
couple things before we finish up. Number one, if you're on a construction site, we want you to be safe. Okay, we
Mm,
want you to get home,
yeah,
have dinner with your kids, your family, your pets, watch some tube, laugh, catch some REM sleep, get up and do it the following day. Number two, you got to stay liquefied. This is the athlete in me. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's summer or winter. You got to stay liquefied. If you stay hydrated all day, you won't make mistakes. When you get hydrated, you make a bad pass, you miss the open net, you drop the ball, you get a headache, you don't have a good day the next day. But if you stay hydrated, you'll have a great day, you'll have a better night's sleep. And you want to be, and the last thing you said that was great, you want to be better than you were yesterday, and you want to be better tomorrow than you were today.
There you go.
You got to
There
be
you go.
improving every day. And the day
That's
you
right.
stop learning, go do something else,
Yep.
because you're wasting your time.
You got it.
So
Beautiful.
all those things, man. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, this is like my mind's like blowing up. I want to say all
Good.
this, but uh,
No.
but really, stay liquefied. It'll
Yeah.
make your day. And last but not least, hit the like button. So we hit subscribe too. So James's episode gets out there on the Wild Wild Web, and you can check them out and stuff. And listen, I'm going to put everything in there. So if you, like I said, if you got a project or you want to bounce some questions, hey, maybe you want to talk Tulane or New Orleans music,
There you
food,
go.
call
I
James.
got a long list of dive bars and tour of dive bars of New Orleans.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, listen, it's going to be TGIF tomorrow, and then you got 3 days next week. You really have about maybe Monday and Tuesday half day, and then it's pretty much over. And then put a fork in it,
There
and
you go.
you got the month about 2.5 weeks maybe in December, and then everybody takes off. And the only thing I can tell you is you should be prepared. Be prepared on December 31st to close up 2025, tape all your boxes up, whatever, and start January with a clean slate. And keep and finish on a positive note, and then keep on going, man, because it's going to be a wild button your safety strap, because it's going to be a wild ride, man.
There you go.
And I am like totally pumped. So James, I am so I was honored to have you on here because I've known you a long
Okay.
time.
Long time.
You remember
Good.
me coming to your office way back in my
Oh yeah.
DDI days. I mean, that was like
Oh yeah.
94, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh yeah. No, this goes back a
No,
long, long time.
do you
So
still have your
thank you.
do you still have your Taekwondo studio?
No, no. Gave that up a while ago.
Yeah.
But money pit extraordinaire. I mean, had enjoyed that, and but no, that ended a little while ago. I sold it to somebody else who was ready to take over.
My neighbor, his kid was going to Taekwondo. I saw his ATA thing, and uh, I said, I'm a black belt, ATA. And he goes, oh, yeah, I take ATA. I go, oh, where? Who's your instructor? Oh, Mr. Lauer. I'm like, oh my God, Mr. Lauer's your instructor? And he goes, he was my instructor. So anyway, I hadn't seen him in a while. And I went down, and he went on his own and has his own dojo, and he's getting into the grappling and all that. And he's like, Mr. Corson, man, I'm telling you, man, you're like my favorite student because you blew your ACL out 2 weeks before you were going to get your black belt. And he put up his
Yeah,
black belts up on the wall 6 months before you got you went
right.
to your test. So I was looking at my name in Korean
Yeah.
and I was going to Miami to go look at the Doraus for one of my events. And I had just finished and like, hey, Mr. Corsi, you want to do a jump sidekick? And I'm like, looked, I
Uh,
had to catch a flight to Miami at like 10 o'clock. I was like, yeah, go ahead, do it. Go
It's
over the
always
bag.
it's always the last run down the
Yeah, I was
slope.
like,
It's
I go
always
put it
the
on. I go up, I jump the bag, do the sidekick, break the board, come down, buckle the leg, heard the pop. And then they all
God.
run, they're all looking, I'm like, get me up, get me up. Drive down to the airport. I call my wife. I'm like, oh, I think I really screwed my leg up, man. And I get to the hotel in the morning. My knee's like a freaking cantaloupe. And but I had to work out. I worked hard. I came back 7, 8 months later, got on the mat in the summer, and then I took my test in September and
There
passed.
you go.
But I'm going to go back and get my second degree. I told Mr. Lauer, I'm like, hey, I was building my house last year and all this stuff, but I'm coming back after the first year, and I'm gonna go and go.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. I miss it quite a bit.
Oh no, I miss it. I mean, it's back fist, elbow, elbow straight. That's my favorite punch. Back fist. I love that. Oh my God. So,
Beautiful.
well, listen, James, have a
Great talking to you.
happy Thanksgiving. Have an
Yeah,
awesome December. I'm gonna look you up when I come up to Chi-Town.
please do.
And
Or New Orleans.
yeah, no, look, we'll go up and we'll take a tour of the Centennial Blight. It's gonna be done in the first quarter, right?
Yep.
Somewhere in there.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right.
Great.
Well, listen, say goodbye from Chicago.
Goodbye from Chicago. See you soon.
And I'm going to sign off from Lake Lanier, about 30 miles north of downtown ATL. And listen, have a great rest of your Thursday. Happy TGIF tomorrow. There's only, I think, 6 left. And have an awesome December. And then get ready because 2026, man, it's waiting for you.
There you go.
So anyway, thoroughly enjoyed the conversation. And everybody, We will see you next time on another episode of Commercial Construction Coffee Talk. James, pleasure. You're the man.
Thank you, David. Bye-bye.
Cheers.